but you could look forward to that. And then ambassador passes are something we've started to remind you of and share about a little bit more. There are even some hard cards out there if you wanted to take a few, but any of you with the package can bring somebody with you as a friend. An individual can only ever once do an ambassador pass. We couldn't pass the same friend around and they could come for 2 weeks as friends of each one of us. They can come one time and then we just take it from there. So there's somebody that you know in your community, in your family, who you think would do well to come to yoga with you, and just invite them. In fact, that's part of why we even created Aim to Empower. The results that we each get from taking yoga, wouldn't it be amazing if the whole community had access to those same results? So that's the whole point behind the Ambassador Pass by Aim to Empower, finding ways to make sure more of the community members get to share what we're about to do together here this morning. All right, hi, Allie. Okay, let's get ready to get started here. Let's come into child's pose. I'm just going to bring some blocks around the room because it always seems to be a good idea to have those spread around. So I'll start to pass a few of those out to some of you who don't have one. Put an extra one around here and there. I hear you already are on track with the work at hand, which is setting up your breathing. Create your Ujjayi breath. Create it so that you're connecting to the people around you through your breathing and having a deeper connection to self, to your own body, and what's possible today. We're using the breath as a vehicle to the present moment, and inside of living in the present moment, opening up an awareness for possibility and acting on the possibility. We use our breath to inspire movement. So on your next inhale, lift your body up into downward facing dog. Start to move around inside your skin. The beginning parts of class are about waking up every little nook and cranny, inch of skin of our body and becoming fully embodied, alive inside of ourselves. You know that's different than the way we sometimes walk around, which can be a little disconnected sometimes and dull, and it doesn't have to be that way. Through our practice, we make it different. Take another breath here, and then exhale, look forward and move up to the front of your mat. Once you arrive at the front, lift up halfway and hang down and keep your breath flowing. By listening into your body, choose what might be the next movement that's needed for you. While you're hanging here, pick up your block and take it in this kind of, well, you pick the setting, this medium setting or this small setting. Just hug it between your inner thighs as you're hanging. I like mine a little bit wider, I think. And just hang down. While you're hanging here, let your feet sink. You've heard it before. All four corners of your feet sink down into the mat so you feel really steady in your feet. And when you have that and the knuckle of your big toe is pressing down, you can even give it some extra emphasis with your own fingers for a few moments to really let your foot know what its work is. While you're hanging here, you might also start to feel how your arches do a little lift from the result of your foot pressing. It lifts through your inner thighs, all the way up through your upper inner thighs, your knees hugging the block. Keep breathing. And then let your heels press down into the mat as well as your big toe, so you start to feel heat coming up the back of your legs. Then with your feet pressing down and your legs hugging in, on the next inhale, lift the pit of your belly until you're in a round back, and exhale, just hang down. So we're just emphasizing the press the feet, squeeze the thighs, lift the pit of the belly, round back, and fold down. Just do that 3 times so that you squeeze and the result is a lift. The lift isn't your upper back. The lift is just the pit of your belly. One more time, squeeze, lift, and hang down. Now we're going to use the squeeze and lift, and then we're going to roll out through our spine to the halfway lift. So press down, squeeze your thighs, lift the pit of your belly, maybe hands on your thighs, halfway lift, and fold down your thighs. Press, squeeze, lift your belly, roll through your spine, long flat back, exhale, hang down. Like a wave, do that 3 more times. Up to your flat back and hang down. Yep. From your feet, inner thighs, pit of the belly, lift and fold. You have 1 more time. Feet, pit of the belly, inner thighs, unwind and fold down. Every time we take a halfway lift, come up to standing, lift up to a warrior 1, we're looking for this sensation. So from your standing, press your feet down, squeeze your thighs, lift, come to the halfway, and then all the way up to standing. Unhinge, arms overhead. You can keep squeezing and bring your hands into prayer position and settle. Settle your gaze on just one point and set the intention for your practice. And then 3 times we'll chant Om. Let it be a sound that fills your whole being, your whole body, that you can feel it just moving through you. Don't worry what it sounds like. Put your attention on what it feels like. Deep breath in. Press your heels, squeeze your thighs. Inhale, reach up. Keep squeezing. Fold to the floor. Hips back, long flat back, fold down. Inhale, press the floor, squeeze, pit of the belly, flat back. Keep all that. Hands on the ground, squeeze your block. High plank. Low plank. See if you can keep it. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Deep breath in. Long breath out. 2 more. Inhale, and you can carry the block with you through the sun salutation A's or put it to the side. It's your choice. 1 more time. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, move up to your hands. Press the floor, lift up halfway, and fold down. Press, stand, reach up, lift up, look up, fold to the floor and empty. Inhale, lift halfway, low plank on the exhale. Upward facing dog, roll over your toes, lift your chest, downward facing dog. Breathe here together. Fill your lungs and empty. 2 more. Last deep breath in. Full breath out, look forward, move to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Press down, stand up, lift, look up and reach. Fold to the floor and empty. Smooth, steady movements. Inhale, lift halfway. Low plank on your exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Keep your attention on your breathing. Smooth, steady, consistent, and deep. And match your movements to your breathing. Smooth, steady, consistent, and deep. 1 more breath in. Breath out, look forward, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. 1 more time. Stand up, lift up, look up, stretch, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, long breath, low plank, steady emptiness. Inhale, fill up, stretch up. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Now you'll want to remove your block when we move to sun salutation B. Every day there are more and more articles that speak about how a lot of different mood altering medications for some can be removed with mindful practices. What you're doing now is a mindful practice. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, sit back, reach up, set your gaze, and fold to the floor. Inhale, lift halfway, set your gaze, low plank. Upward facing dog. Inhale, set your gaze, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. From the pit of your belly, you lift, look up, set your gaze to the ceiling, and then with patience, hands down, eyes set, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now the left side, step, deep lunge, lift up, look up, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe, eyes settled at the back of your mat, just seeing whatever there is to see back there. Let your breath flow through your body. Put your attention on how that feels and feel whatever there is to feel there. One more breath in, breath out, get ready to move. Come to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose, sit and reach, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, low plank. Step your right foot forward, place it, warrior one. Lift from the pit of your belly all the way to your fingers. Look up, hands to the floor for chaturanga. There you go. Inhale, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You've got the left side to step and lift and look, set your gaze, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We're bringing our attention to three principles. We bring it every single time we practice: breath, drishti, and foundation. There's really actually nothing more. Those three things lead into all future poses, whether they're amplified or modified. Take one more breath in, bend your knees, look forward, move up to your hands. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose, sit, lift the pit of your belly, set your gaze, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, lift the pit of your belly, set your gaze, chaturanga, slow and steady. Now fill up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. From your feet to your fingertips, lift, hands down, chaturanga, and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left side, is it so for you? From your feet to your fingertips, aware, awake, and alive. Hands down, chaturanga, and empty. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Feel how it is from your hands sinking into the mat to your hips drawing up and back. Feel how it is, all the points in between those 2 points. Let's go for one more round. Deep breath in, bend your knees on the exhale, and jump. Halfway lift, set your gaze, and fold. Chair pose from the pit of your belly, set your gaze, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, eyes set, chaturanga, keep your eyes on the spot. Now inhale, fill up, exhale, down dog, right foot forward and lunge. Press your back foot down, wake up 2 of your feet, no unconscious foot, hand to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale, downward facing dog, left side step and lunge, reach up, lift up, hands to the floor, chaturanga. And I see the magic starting to happen. You're starting to create customization to your own practice because you're responding to what your body's telling you it needs. Raise your right leg into the air, bend your knee and flip the pose over. Keep your breath flowing and steady. Keep your gaze set, purposefully move it. And with your eyes on that one spot and your breath flowing and steady, feel how it is in your body. What's next from here? A little more reach, a little more letting go. One more breath. Side plank. Put your right hand on the mat. Feel how it is in your body. Stack it up and reach to the ceiling. Then draw the pit of your belly into your body so your hips open up. Let your ribs just settle back into your body. You have 3 breaths. Explore the pose in whatever way you're drawn to. That's 1, 2 more. Now strong belly. Get ready to move. High plank to low. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Left leg in the air. Bend your knee, heel to your hip and open. Keep your breath flowing. Set your drishti. Flip. Set your new drishti. Pause. Just see what you see. Feel the breath moving through your body. See what else is possible from where you are right here, and then just breathe and be with it. One more breath. Side plank, left hand to the mat. Face the long right side of your mat. Stack your body up. Organize yourself. Feel what's next. And then for wherever you are, just stay. Breathe 3 breaths, all your attention on how the breath feels moving in and out of the pose. You have 1 more after this, 1 more. High plank to low. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Right foot forward into the crescent lunge. Right away, set your gaze on one point. Feel how it is in your feet and take a deep lunge. Stretch up through the sides of your body, gaze up to the ceiling, see the ceiling, move your eyes back to a new spot on the ceiling. See that, feel this, then hands to prayer position and twist left elbow to your right knee. Steady breath. You have the way you always do the pose. Then there's the way that the pose wants to be done today. Activate your back leg and lift the pit of your belly. The same lifting pit of the belly you experienced when we were doing just those tiny little drills at the beginning. Have that here. Body long. If you feel your right side collapsing and you're looking behind you, look more to the front corner of your space. One more inhale here. Stay and exhale. Reach up to crescent lunge and set your gaze and settle. Keep your breath flowing. Open your body up to warrior two. You can keep your gaze on that spot. That's a little tricky. Try to settle your gaze and let your body organize itself through how it feels, different from looking at it. Can you feel your back leg? I usually can't unless I put some attention on it. Organize that your back toe feels like it's angling a bit more inward. So it has you have to stand in your back leg as much as your front. Then lunge down until you feel your inner thigh line of your front leg extending from your groin to your inner knee. Stretch your arms, tilt for extended side angle. Your arm can press your right knee back toward its baby toe. You'll feel your right hip come under your body a little more. Make your body so long on the right side. See if you can feel from your back foot up your body through your spine to your bottom arm, a lengthening and a stretching. Chest to the ceiling. Okay, chaturanga. Upward facing dog comes next. Use it to fill up your body. Downward facing dog. Go to your left foot forward. Keep your breath flowing. Set your drishti. Let your body settle into the shape. And keep your breath flowing. Feel how it is for you in your body right now. From your feet, through your legs, up your sides to your fingertips stretch, and then eyes to the ceiling if they're not already there. Move your eyes to a new spot, further back, and see what you see on that spot. Maybe it's one spot further, and then you just feel what you feel for a breath. Bring your hands to prayer position and twist right elbow to your left knee. Can you feel from your back heel pressing back to the crown of your head reaching forward, those 2 points pulling apart, and all the points in between lined up into that? What else is there for your arms to melt your thoracic spine? Stay here now a little bit longer than you feel like you could easily just stay. Let's take 2 more breaths. Let your body be easy while you hold this last one. Crescent lunge, come up, set your gaze. Just before that right now. Gaze set. Anything to do about your body, keep your gaze. Warrior two, open up. Steady breathing. That's it. And Jen and everybody, just point your knee and your toes straight forward in one direction. Gather in the pit of your belly, especially if you feel yourself sinking and settling into your lower back. Lift so your body's long and lean. Yes. Tilt for extended side angle. Reach for the floor and for the ceiling. Breathe. Deep, deep lunge. Yes. From your back foot pressing to your 2 arms reaching. Long and lean. You stretch rather than hang and sway. One more breath. Reach. Hands to the floor. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Now check out your body. Let your hands press down and your hips pull back and feel how it is. Feel how it is when you breathe. Can you feel your rib cage on the side expand and relax? On your back, it lifts to the ceiling and relaxes. Are you able to straighten your arms and stretch out of your shoulders? One more breath in. Breath out, bend your knees, look forward, move up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold, keep your breath flowing, chair twist. Squat back, bring your hands to prayer, twist toward the right. Now just keep your breath flowing. Set your gaze on one point. Feel how it is in your feet. Do you feel your hips reaching back like they're sitting on an imaginary wall behind you? Keep your breath flowing. You feel the two sides of your body getting longer. Now, as you breathe, just sink your thoracic spine into your chest. Stay with this for 3 breaths to just feel how it is. No point to the pose if we don't have any time to just feel it. Stay for the last one. Chair pose, set your drishti. I know it's good. Forward fold. Forward fold, hook your toes and breathe. Give yourself a few breaths here to get your feet set up. Center of the heel, press it down. The ball of the big toe, press it down. Heels anchored into the mat, pressing down until heat starts to move up your legs and into your glutes, the back of your hips. As much fire as you've brought into your legs, you'll get that resulting release in your spine. Look for that, an equal and an opposite. Wherever you are is perfect. However your body is being is perfect. Then just breathe. Can you feel the small little movements of your ribs, between your ribs as you breathe? Could you even imagine and experience your whole body is being breathed as a unit? Chair twist the other way. Sit back, hands to prayer, right elbow to your left knee. Keep your breath flowing. Take on the shape, not necessarily as a thing you're doing inside the list of a bunch of things, but instead as an opportunity. Create a long right side body, a long left side body. Lots of support from the pit of your belly. Give yourself, a little bit more pit of the belly and stretch long. Yes. Now sink your thoracic spine into your chest. How is that? A few more breaths. Just stay with it, peaceful in your mind. One more. Chair pose. Fold. Stand on your palms. Hands right underneath of your feet from the front. Just let your head hang down. Yeah, you can shake it out, your hips, your shoulders, your head, until they can just hang. So a balance of the fire from the legs and the ease from the spine. Release your hands from beneath your feet. Put your fingertips on the ground. Keep your big toes in one line. Lift your right foot up to the side as high as it will lift. Press all the way out into your heel and to the side. So not behind you, to the side. Yes, probably your foot more forward to the front of the mat than you think. And then 3 times tap it on the floor and lift it up. 1, you'll want active toes. 2, and 3, bring it to the ground. Shake your hips out. All right, step your right hip back, or your right foot back, and let's stretch that hip. Just did all that work for you. Look over your left shoulder. Does it feel a little bit better? Makes you feel a little bit more encouraged about the other side. Come back up to standing in your forward fold. Toes in one line. See, they're in one line here. Fingers on the ground. Lift your left foot up. So it's not back there. It's all the way over here where I feel it's like right above my pinky finger. Forward, Greg. Yes. Tap it 3 times. Touch down. Active toes. Reach up. Like you're pressing it into a handstand. Wake your toes up. Touch them to the ground and flex. Foot on the ground and then step that leg back. Kneel down and lunge. Hands on your front leg and deep forward lunge. You can look over your right shoulder. From the pit of your belly, you lift, bring your hands to the floor, downward facing dog, stretch back. In your downward facing dog, 1 deep breath in, open up your mouth, clear it all out, sigh, and then move up to your hands. At the front of the mat, lift halfway by pressing down and instigating at the pit of your belly and fold. Take your time this time and roll. Come rolling up to standing, arms overhead. Set your drishti and keep it right side eagle pose. We'll flow through a few of these poses, and you can keep your drishti set on one spot the whole time. Right side eagle pose. Sit deep and stretch tall through your torso. And then eyes stay positioned, left side eagle pose, switch. Left arm under, left leg over. Steady breath. Bring the pit of your belly in. Yes, training your handstands even here. A little straight and taller if you can. Angie and everybody, shoulders on top of your hips if you can. Just bring it right back here. Step out, right arm under, right leg over. Nice work. Wrap your toes around. So you found it a couple of times today. Press your heel down of your standing foot until you feel your arch lift and the pit of your belly lift. Keep that strength and your drishti and step out. Right side, right arm under, right leg over. A little more pit of the belly. A little bit. There you go, Greg. You're getting it all set up. Step out. Keep the pit of the belly and switch sides. Left arm under, left leg over. Molly's like, wow, the yoga rush is happening. That's it, Betsy. Nice pit of the belly. Lots of good length. One more breath. Step out. Hug your right knee into your chest. Stay tall. Grab your foot and extend. The back of your leg warm up. The back of your right body in the back under your shoulder. You can keep your foot just forward, or you can open it to the side. If you're not holding on and you're holding it in the air, you can take some bending and straightening. Everybody here, draw in the pit of your belly and get tall. One more breath. Bring your leg forward, switch hands on it. Reach to the back, dancing Shiva. You got it. Nice and steady, even if around you it's not steady. Come forward, knee into your chest, airplane pose. Open up. Arms back, shoulders to the ceiling. From your standing foot, press down until you feel in your standing hip a lift up. Once you have that, hands to prayer position, reverse half moon. You can bring your right hand to the block or floor. It's a little trick. Open your left arm out to the side. And imagine your foot pressing into the back of the wall, your head into the wall in front of you. You can reach back and hold your foot here. It's a little trickier. Pick whatever it will be. 3 breaths. Here we go. 1. Gail, can you take your leg higher? 2 more. Stay calm with it, even though it might be a new challenge. Forward fold and hang. I think that's challenging too. Forward fold and hang. Sway from side to side. Swish your hips from side to side. As much as we turn on, we have to be able to turn down too. If you want a strap, grab it, come up to standing and hug your left knee into your chest. Eyes on one spot. It doesn't have to be that the work is harder from practice to practice, but as the focus and the movement of energy changes, that's where we can feel a change in the intensity. So sometimes when you're having a practice and you feel like, wow, this is hard, listen in for, is it really hard? Am I really tired? Or am I experiencing like a lot of movement in the room today? Keep your drishti, move your leg, maybe open your gaze. You can keep the leg forward if that's preferable. Sometimes I want more of that stretch. Nice and steady here. Bring your leg forward, hug the knee into the chest. Open up for airplane pose. Dancing Shiva if you want that. So I passed through that one. Grab that if you're aware of it and want that. Otherwise, you're moving to airplane. So let your left hip drop down to the floor a little bit more. That's it, Greg. Hands to prayer position. Keep the left hip down like you have it. Reverse half moon. Press the back foot back like it's pressing into the wall. You got it. A little more press if you can. Yes. Now let your thoracic spine sink into your chest and open up to the side. 1 more breath. Forward fold and hang. Sway. Some of you got the back foot. Sway from side to side. How's it feel in your body? Come on up to standing. So all that back shoulder area that opened in the kicking forward, now we get to settle our shoulder down into that standing bow. Right arm or arms up, right arm behind you. Hold your ankle from the inside. So knees together, and you can feel how your shoulder blade wants to sit down in its pocket that you opened up in the last pose. Kick back and reach forward. Kick back and reach forward. Now challenge yourself. You're probably where you go right now. A little more tilt for you. Can you find that? Is that available? A little more kick. Steady gaze. You are all there. Stay with it. Just listen to your breath. This is the true practice of mindfulness here when there's a lot of distraction. Just put your attention on your breath. All right, come out. That was very good. Could you see how you had the power to change that? The pose gets distracting. You want to come out of it. But when you just concentrate on your breathing, you have a whole new powerfulness to stay. Other side, arms overhead, back arm behind you. Bend your knee, hold your ankle from the inside. Let your arm bone move back in its pocket. Then stretch and start kicking. Use the first few breaths to build the pose. Jenna, I think your hand spun around backwards. Yeah, it is. There you go. On the inside there. You got it. Now see if there's something deeper. You might soften to get deeper by softening your standing knee maybe. Go right to the physical edge of the pose for you and put your eyes on one spot. Listen to your breathing. Deep, smooth, consistent breath. All of your attention there, just timeless. Just be with your breath. All right, come on out. Feet on the floor. Hands on your hips. We'll take a second set. Set it up. Right side, right foot. Set it up and go. You have 10 breaths. You spend those breaths however you see they fit. 10 breaths here. On 2. What's available if you let go? You're about halfway. Kick a little higher if you can, Ruben and the rest. Last couple breaths. When you're finished, come out, feet on the floor, eyes on one spot. Get settled. We'll do the second set, second side. You have 10 breaths on this side. I always find it's easy to find the spots that are really tight and really working. Sometimes a little harder to find the spots that are just a gentle press will help you find the middle. A little harder to find the spots that are at ease, different from the spots that are just dull and not awake. So see what you see in your body. Get to your 10, whatever that is. And then if you finish a little earlier, you just stand on your 2 feet, maybe hands to prayer position, and you hold space. Eyes on one spot. As you press your palms together, feel the real sense of pressing the right side to the left side to the right. As they're pressing together, can you experience the space in between the right side and the left side? Just feel anything about that, whatever shows up. Tree pose, right foot up. The right side of your body, press it to the left side. And the left side of your body, hug it to the right side. Both sides into the center line, the space in between the right and the left. One more breath. And then switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. Keep your breath flowing while you transition the sides. You can keep your gaze on one spot as you transition the sides. You may get a quality of feeling settled and peaceful in the pose. Even though the pit of your belly is still working, the 2 sides are drawing themselves together. One more breath. Keep your breath flowing. Step out. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale and reach your arms overhead. Stretch. Fold to the floor and squeeze the air out. Press the floor. Lift your core. Halfway lift. Set your drishti. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle pose. Step and go. You build it your own way. Do it to the rhythm of your breathing. You know we're looking for 2 straightish legs. Two sides of the body equally long and lean. Strong pit of the belly. Press your front foot's big toe down. That's a gale. Draw the pit of your belly into your body and up. Last breath. Bring yourself up to standing. Face the long left side of your mat. Hands to your hips, chest up high, and forward fold. You have a lot of choices here. Of course, there's always reaching forward, reaching back. There's reaching all the way through and trying to reach your hands around your hip. It's taking twists where your feet hold even weight. Side to side, inner thigh stretches and inversions. Now, right there, Greg, you work on the pit of your belly coming in. Yep. And opening up the hip crease at the same time. Keep your breath flowing. That'll feel like this. That's straight up and down right there. Nice. Keep managing your ribs in the pit of your belly. As you get tired, your lower back is saying, yeah, there. You have it. I'm right here. One more breath. Gently bring yourself down if you're upside down. Come up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. Standing, single leg forward fold. Interlace your hands behind your back. Feet wide and long. Lift your chest up and fold forward. Two long legs. A little bit of bend in the front. A lift of the back heels. Fine. We want length and space between the feet. Sue and Elizabeth, you guys could go a little longer in your feet. Just a little more challenge working from the four corners of the feet. If you're able, if your hands are bound, spill them overhead. If they're in prayer, they're perfect, or whatever variation you're choosing. Twisting triangle is next. Left fingertips on the block or floor. Make your body long. So you keep your two hips level and open up. It's a little more open, little more thoracic spine. Wait. Yeah. Let me give it back to you. Let me help you find your space. Right here. Open up. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Left side triangle. Keep your breath flowing and step forward. Check out the pit of your belly, that same low front of the pelvis we used when we were working our halfway lift. Without that here, this pose is going to settle into your lower back. Yeah, you're getting it, Jen. It's tricky to find in space, isn't it? Keep lifting the pit of your belly right there. It means that your cheeks in the back relax a little bit, oddly enough. Lots of pit of the belly. Come on up to standing. Face the long right side of your mat. Hands bound behind you, chest up high, forward fold. You also can take an inversion here if you're working on that. Some of the inversions available are headstands or handstands, working with your press out legs. Take a sigh at any point in the pose to just release any extra holding, particularly in your back ribs, in your neck, in your shoulders. Take 2 more breaths to just finish up and balance out whatever you're doing. And then come on up to standing. Face the front of your mat, left leg forward, standing, single leg forward fold. So hands behind your back, bound together, or prayer hands, lift up high and forward fold. Steady, steady breathing. Yep, as your hands spill overhead for the bound hands, you are beginning to open your body up even for the shoulder stand coming later, making some similar motions in your body. Breathe and open those spaces. One more breath here. Come all the way up to standing and just step to the front of your mat. At the front, sweep your arms overhead, fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway, chaturanga on the exhale. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Bring yourself into your high plank. Turn your toes under and point your feet. Come into your handstand plank. You know that your hips stay buoyant as high as your shoulders. It's not pelvis dipping forward. It's pit of the belly lifting while you press your hands. You can put your knees on the ground. Breathe here for 5 breaths. A lot more pit of the belly lifting, body hollow, 4 breaths. You've got this. Stay with it. 3 breaths, more pit of the belly, Gail. Ruben, more pit of the belly up. 2, more Charlie, yep. Come all the way down. Airplane pose, or on the floor, so locust. Open up your arms, lift your chest. Make your body lean. So for locust, you make your body like airplane and lift it up into locust pose. Keep the pit of your belly that you just practiced in your plank pose working for you here. Even though you're stretching long, you won't have the hollow body. We're going in the opposite direction, but you still want the same work. Come on down. Floor bow, bend your knees, reach back and hold your ankles. Kick into your hands. See if you can let your shoulders go. In standing bow, we understood and explored there was a pocket in the upper back for the shoulder blades. It's here now. Kick back and kick up. While your arms settle into your back body, your thoracic spine, the area between your shoulder blades, that can melt forward through your chest. Stay in the pose if you can. Breathe and expand your chest. See if you can feel that feeling just with your breath. Come on down. Wave your feet from side to side. Second set, or the other side. Set it up and go. Set your gaze, your drishti on one spot. Take a sigh if a sigh helps for you to make a clearing. And then whatever the shape of your body right now, just breathe. Listen to your breathing. Smooth, deep, steady, consistent breath. No matter what, attention on consistent breath. Come on down. Hands on the floor beside your bottom ribs, arm bones on your back. Lift into the upward facing dog so that from your pubic bone all the way up to your belly button into your chin, you feel stretching. Those 2 points, pubic bone to your chin, do you feel stretching? Breathe into it and move to downward facing dog. Camel pose, knees on the mat. Grab your block, hug it between your inner thighs. Get your knees sink down while your thighs hug into the block and to the lift of the pit of your belly, and take your camel pose. Maybe we'll start with our camel just reaching up, long and lean. Do you feel like you're settled and sinking? Belly kind of relaxed forward. Draw in and up, as long and lean as you can be. Yep, your strong, hollow handstand body, pit of the belly working. Keep lifting. You might even open a little bit, maybe arms like a Y so your chest starts to open, but you stay lifted, no sinking. Keep lifting the pit of your belly. Come up out of the pose, hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Stretch back. We'll do a second set of camel, knees on the ground, hug your block. You can turn your toes under for stability, then reach up to the ceiling. Years and years of a camel pose that just is sinking, not a lot of value there. Get the lifting and the reach. Do it by squeezing into the block. Squeeze in with your thighs, and from the squeeze, you lift. And then open your palms to feel your chest expand. Breathe and feel that feeling from the center of your chest to your fingertips. Keep lifting. Feel where your body starts getting tired and you want to sink a little bit. Try to stay lifted there for 2 more breaths. Find your spot. I see a lot of amazing work in your bodies right now. 1 more breath, more belly. Come up out. Yes, Sue, did you feel that? So open. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Come through your hands, sit down. Before you roll down, just using our body and our core, you can squeeze the block between your knees and reach for the wall in front of you. Sit up tall and relax your shoulders. Once you have all of that, you can feel your sitting bones on the ground. Pull the pit of your belly back and feel yourself rock off of your sitting bones. Keep your shoulders down and keep reaching. As your hands reach this way, you pull your belly back. You get to the critical point. Roll over the back of your pelvis. Freeze. Pull the pit of your belly back. Yes, that's it, Janet. Yes, you got it. It was long and straight. She was able to open her hips and tilt. Perfect. How'd that feel? Really great. Yes. Bridge pose. Not said with even a drip of sarcasm. Press down and rise up into your bridge. If we want our body to be stronger and we want it to do different poses, we have to look at the basic principles and strengthen our body. Then we don't necessarily crave all of the changing stuff for the entertainment. We go where our body says, this is where I need more. In your bridge pose, really sink your feet. Establish your center line. Bring your right knee into your chest without moving the standing foot. Greg, put that standing foot back where it was. Hug into your center line. So the right side into the left side into the right, and be aware of the space in between. Put your foot on the floor. Other side. Don't move the standing foot. Left knee into your chest. Don't get in trouble again, Greg. Hug in. Do you sense that quality of standing in your big toe, hugging from right to left, from left to right, still strong in your belly? Come on down. Knees side to side. I just want you to have your money's worth. Okay, that's take your block, press down, rise up, long block underneath of your hips, into your bridge, long block underneath of your hips. Establish that you've got the pit of your belly. So you've got the block under your hips. You're aware of the pit of your belly, the block standing kind of medium tall. You're in bridge pose, arms wherever they'll be. Bring your right knee into your chest, legs straight up in the air, and get a sense of hugging to your center line. Already I can feel the difference in my right body and my left body. One side, the left, collecting. The right side, getting ready to lengthen and support. Lower your right leg down. Make sure your right toes are still facing the ceiling, or there's just no point to this. Hover, blow out, gather, and bring your leg back up. Do that 2 more times. Toes point straight up, no toes turning to the side. Feel almost like you're sliding your heel down the center line of your body and right back up, then knee into your chest and foot on the floor. We'll do then the left side. Can you feel your standing big toe pressing into the mat? That has to stay established the whole time. That's it, Angie. Keep hugging into the center line. Leg up and down. Press against me. Press against, more. There. And you go back up. Pressing. Feel the difference? One more time. Yep. And one more time up. Foot on the floor. Come on down. Take your block away and move your knees from side to side and feel how it is in your body, and be aware of whatever it is that you're aware of now about the center line of your body. And then get set up. Bridge pose into wheel. Number 1, press down, rise up. We'll do 3 of these. Keep the work you've done, the space you've made as pockets in your shoulders, your center line that comes from your true north aligned feet. Feel how it is. For most of you, heels a little wider, and come on down. Knees side to side. We have 2 more. Get up into the pose and see what there is to be discovered. Press down and rise up. Now, if you have your typical go-to that has nothing to do with what we've been building, that's true in this pose for a lot of us. See how it is. Start at your feet. Heels wider, big toes pressing down. By degree, you might not be able to do it all at once. Thumbs press down. Come on down if you're not already there. We've 1 more. Press down and rise up. All the way down, all the way up. Once you get into the pose, take a sigh and soften. 3 breaths, 3 easy breaths in the pose. 2 more. Finish up the last one and come on down, soles of your feet together, knees open. It's a chance to just be still and feel how it feels in your body. What are you getting present to in your practice in this moment right now? It's not something you seek for, it's something that's just right there. Hug your knees into your chest. Take your block and place it between your ankles so you have something to squeeze. and curl up. Press the floor away from you. Look down at your belly. Breathe in, and as you exhale, sink it deep into the mat so you feel every bone of your lower back on the floor. Keep them all on the floor and relax your shoulders. Breathe in, blow all the air out, and press. Breathe in again. Blow all the air out and press again. 5 more times. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees into your chest. Remove your block from between your feet. Legs back up in the air. We're lowering one at a time. Fingertips behind your thighs. Use your fingertips to help you curl up and make your body more round like a ball, so no arching back. Lower your right leg, hug it into your center line, and switch. Be super aware of the whole inside of your arch and inside of your knee, hugging into your center line as you move back and forth. Be aware of your belly sinking. Aware of what it takes to release a leg and draw it back while you're stabilizing the other leg. One more time each side. One side releasing, one side stabilizing. Finish. Hug your knees into your chest. We'll take the tabletop with the shins. Fingers behind the ears, curl up, and we'll take bicycles. Right elbow, left knee, then left elbow, right knee. Whether you straighten the opposite leg doesn't really matter. Hollow belly, hollow body. Hip to hip, rib to rib. They stay on the floor. One side's stretching, one side's contracting. Back and forth. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock head to tail a few times. Try not to touch your feet as you rock back and forth. See if you can establish balance on your sitting bones until you can come up and you're sitting here balanced. And then hug your knees and stretch your chest up tall. Put your eyes on one spot, a drishti point where you can just see what you see. Put your attention on your breathing, slow, steady, deep, and rhythmic. Then bring your hands to your heels. You might stay right here holding your heels. You could open your feet wide. Try stretching a leg up, 2 legs up, or all the way up and straight, apart or together. Stay right there and breathe. Eyes on one spot. 5 breaths. Stay right there and breathe. 4 breaths. You got this. 3 breaths. Chest up, easy and soft. Hug your knees. Rock 3 times. That was really amazing. You're surprising me with your skills today. Downward facing dog. I was not expecting that, like, perfect uniformity there. Right side pigeon. Any variation of right side pigeon. We won't stay here forever, so make sure you take on the variation that you want right from the start. Then we'll take 5 breaths in the pose. In the pose, take a breath with a sigh. When you complete your last breath, switch to the other side. Next will be left side pigeon. As we go through all of the other poses in the practice and we do all that concentrating on support from the front, by the time we get to this pose, we could potentially be more open than we typically find ourselves to be because of the work, the support from the front. The back has been letting go. 5 breaths here. Smooth, steady, deep, even breath. When you finish the last of the 5 on this side, sit on your left hip, swing your right leg around for double pigeon. When we're doing these hip opening poses, we're trying to give maximum space to the lower back and not a collapse, but a collect in the front of the body. So organize your legs, sit up tall, and hinge forward. Any variation, crisscross applesauce, bottom heeling close to your hip or ultimately out under your knee. Hips collected and behind you. Collected meaning like gathered and behind. Get this for how we'll switch poses. Finish a last breath here, and then from this pose, boat pose for 5 breaths. Boat pose. Elizabeth's looking at me like, we don't do that here. It's not boat pose time. Take the variation. You could hold your heels if you want to. You could just reach out. You could reach straight up. Hold on to your legs if you'd like. Get to your 5th breath. Yeah, you were right there, Betsy. Double pigeon on the other side. Double pigeon on the other side. It's fair game. A boat pose, fair game. We want things different till we don't, right? That's always funny. You can always amp it up. There's always something to add. Get complete here, and then we'll do feet wide open, sit up tall, seated wide leg forward fold. You could take frog as well, but we're not going to stay here for very many breaths. A seated wide leg forward fold is a pretty nice variation here. Collect your hips and move them behind you. Knees, toes, those can face the ceiling. Long body. Sometimes it's hard to get long, and therefore sitting a little higher with your hips can be helpful. This pose is always the one that I get to. I'm like, haven't I been doing yoga for well over 20 years? How could this possibly be tight like this still? And there it is. It is. It's still tight. Take a breath, and then we'll do the seated single leg extension. So keep your right leg long, bend your left leg, and fold over your long right leg. Take any variation. What are some variations? Well, here's one you could try on since you did your boat pose. One variation you can take is holding onto your baby toe. Maybe you're bored with this. You've been doing it for a while. You can sit back and extend it up. Oh, there's some stretch. Sit up tall if you can. Both sitting bones on the ground. Active toes on both feet. Maybe bring your foot in a little closer to your face and then bring it to the ground. Don't drop it on your heel. Switch sides. Reach over to your left foot. If you'd like to, you can take the variation where you lift it up. Just gentle fingertips behind you to rest. Nice tall body. 2 sitting bones on the ground. Sit tall as you can. There you go. One more breath, and then gently bring your foot to the floor. It'd be so easy to let go and crash your heel to the ground. Don't do that. 2 legs forward, seated, forward fold. Now shift your weight from side to side, hip to hip. And as you do that, walk the free one back more. See if you can feel from your heels to your sitting bones some added length. Then long again in the side body as you fold. Activate your feet. Last breath, maybe make it a sigh. Come on up. Reverse, tabletop, or plank. If it's plank, hug the block between your shins, lean back on your hands, fingers point toward your feet, and lift up. Squeeze the block all the way up. Let your hands sink down into the mat while your chest floats up between your arm bones to the ceiling. One more breath. Sit down, fish pose, hips on the ground, hands around your hips and forearms on the ground. Press against your hips so your sides get really long. Sink your elbows into the mat so your chest opens up, starts expanding toward the ceiling. Like any other back bend, no collapse. The whole pose about lightness and length. One more deep breath here. Exhale in the pose, and then bring yourself out. Tuck your chin and roll down onto your flat back. Once you're on your flat back, you're welcome. Feet overhead to plow pose. If you're near a wall, organize yourself that your hips are leg length away from the wall so that you could roll over in the plow and stand your flat feet on the wall about hip height. Once you do that, open your heels. Little wider than you think. There you go. How are your hamstrings feeling now, Charlie? Get your ribs and belly right from the start, Greg. From the start, straight arms. That takes a little something until your shoulders warm up. Betsy, if you're a little more away, you'd be able to put your feet on the wall. In the pose, perhaps a sigh. See if the sigh gives you access to a little more of a settled feeling. If you are in the shoulder stand, bring your feet to the floor for plow pose. And then knees beside your ears. So you're as much curled up in a ball as you can be, but still finding length and openness. Then all the way onto your flat back. Once you're on your flat back, knees into your chest. You might even curl up and bring your forehead to your knees to just let the skin on the back of your body open up. Then hug your knees into your chest. Once you've hugged your knees, allow your right leg to go long on the mat. Just let it rest on the mat. And take your left knee across your body until it lands on a block. You might have to scoot your bottom hip behind you. So you're setting up. We don't always go for this in the setup, but straight down through your hips, from the top hip down. You could almost be here a little bit more. Yep, down through your hips, straight into the ground. Let your body be pretty easy here. And then switch to the other side. Give yourself the block to prop your knee on so that you don't end up dropping down out of your hip to your knee. You have a nice level quality. Maybe take a sigh here. Unwind, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet together, knees open. Supta Baddha Konasana. From this pose, you're going to flip just over on your belly. You don't have to switch the head to toe of the mat. Just flip over onto your belly. We won't be here forever, but just on your belly. You can fold your forearms and bring your forehead to your forearms. And then you can take a breath, exhale, and let go of your ujjayi, the sound of your breath. Let go of the pauses between your breathing. And feel your breath flow into your body and right back out. An everyday breath. Breath flow in and out. And feel your belly as you inhale expand into your mat. And just soften as you exhale. A quiet breath, a deep breath, a consistent breath, a smooth breath. Feel your ribs expand wide as you inhale and soften. Put all of your attention on your breath. As you inhale, feel your back ribs lift up and soften down. See if you can be aware of your breath moving into the ground, up to the ceiling, and out to the sides. If you feel like you're kind of in an upward dog, you can do any rearranging you need so that you don't feel like you're in a back bend. For a few breaths, just attention on this breathing, this crocodile breathing. When you feel connected to it or comfortable with it, or if the pose is just uncomfortable physically, when you're ready, just flip over onto your back for Shavasana. When you get to your back for Shavasana, welcome to use your cold eye towel here in the studio. Any blocks, set your body up for comfort. Close your eyes and bring your crocodile breath into this pose. So you'll feel your belly rise and fall. That's different from kind of activating it and pressing the musculature of your abdomen up to the ceiling. Just a gentle rise and fall. This really gentle, quiet, consistent, smooth breath. Feel your rib cage expand into the mat and soften. It takes something to show up for an activity like a mindful movement, mindful breathing, and then bring consistency to showing up. And when you do bring that, you get results. So right now, just attention on air coming in through your nose, into your body, and back out. You might become aware of drawing cool air in and allowing warm air out. You may even notice that as you draw air in through your nostrils, it passes all the way up through the channel of your nose, and you might even sense it come up into your forehead and then back out. See if you can become aware of that. Draw air in and up all the way to your forehead and back out. Stay connected to the feeling of your breath expanding and relaxing, drawing in and up and back out, and deepen your breathing. Bring some movement to your fingers and your toes. Hug your knees into your chest. You can roll to your side. And pause here to feel the breath move in and out of your body. Just all of your attention on it, how it is for you in this position. Then come up into a sitting position. Sit tall, eyes closed, body comfortable. Eyes closed and tall. And feel yourself draw breath in through your nose, up to your forehead and back out. See how it is in your body, where you are right now in your practice, and create an intention for the rest of your day. With your next inhale, reach your arms overhead. Bring your hands into prayer position. 3 times we'll create our sea of 3 ohms. So when you're ready for the next one, you start for the next one. Remember, when we're chanting Om, it's a vibration or feeling in our body. We're completing with this. It comes from deep in the belly at Ah, up in the chest at O, up in the head at Ng. Here we go. Deep breath in. Bring your thumb knuckles to your forehead. Take a deep breath and exhale. Namaste. Good work. Thank you all for being here this morning. Such a pleasure to play and practice together. I hope you enjoyed our practice. I'll see you again on Thursday. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day. If you want cards to bring friends, you could grab the cards. Otherwise, you just bring them with you. If they've never used the Ambassador Pass before, they'll be able to come and join you for a free class. They can give them the card then. Yeah.